everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at the weekend forecast for August 26th through the 28th. And the forecast is going to focus mostly on today, Friday, where we do have our best chance we've had in quite some time of seeing some strong to severe thunderstorms, which could bring some damaging winds with them. And so there's lots of details to take a look at. We're going to start basically with focusing on that, and then we'll move towards looking at the rest of the weekend, which is going to be pleasant. And we're not going to see a lot of rain, even with the thunderstorms, except for maybe in an isolated situation. But for the most part, we're not going to see the widespread soaking rain we could really use. But that's the forecast, so that's what we're going to look at. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at satellite imagery as we get started for the day. You can see we've moved our general airflow direction to the southwest, and we really have tapped into some of this moisture particularly, and some heat to an extent that's been sitting mostly over the southeastern United States. There's been all sorts of flooding issues and things like that across the deep south. None of that in terms of the moisture, in terms of giving us a heavy rain, is coming in our direction. But we did get the humidity to move in our direction, and we do have a bit of a front and a bit of a storm that's moving through our area. And as you can see, we do have this is a pretty classic setup here, because what's going to happen is we do have low cloudiness now, but that's going to break out into sunshine as some of the low cloudiness lifts. And as this area of clearer weather moves in for a bit of the day, particularly for the morning, that's going to allow temperatures to come up, give us the kind of energy we need at the lower levels of the atmosphere to set off some thunderstorms. And we have pretty good trigger to our west and a bit of a wind shift boundary as well. That's further off to the west, but I think as they come together, that's going to give us the opportunity to see some stronger thunderstorms across southern Vermont. If we take a look at radar, we can see we've got a little bit of clutter left over from the convection that happened last night. And then eventually somewhere, probably if I had to guess right now, I would say back in this area here, we'll start to fire a line of storms that will head in our direction. Now, this is an interesting setup in that it's not a guarantee, particularly to our north. They're definitely going to see showers and thunderstorms. But across southern Vermont and across actually most of southern New England, it's not a guarantee that the thunderstorms will really get going. Probably somewhere in that range there will be a line of storms. But what's interesting is any storms that do form have a pretty good chance of becoming pretty strong. So while I would say the chances that we definitely get any kind of rain or any kind of thunderstorm is not super high, maybe 50-50 or so here across southern Vermont, the chance that any of those storms then become severe that appear is higher. So any storms that appear may have, a 50% chance or, 25-30% chance of becoming severe, which is pretty high as storms go. So so it's an interesting threat in that it's not a real high threat that we'll actually see anything, but if we do see something, it's likely that it will be strong to severe. And so I want to just kind of put the threat out there, but we might get through the end of the day and you might say, well, we just got a few sprinkles, or we didn't really get any rain at all. The weather guy had no idea what he was talking about. Well, that's just sort of the randomness of exactly where those storms bubble up. And what they tend to do is a storm will get going and it will develop itself, and what happens is it often sucks moisture and energy out of the atmosphere around it, and so as it heads across, if it heads just to our south or just to our north, it might mean that we don't really end up with much at all in this kind of setup as we go forward. So in terms of the details of today's storms not guaranteed, but any that do occur could be strong to severe. Storms timing, I think 1 to 4 p.m. for most of us here in southern Vermont. Not much rain with these storms. Even if we do get the stronger storms, they're going to be brief. So we might get a quarter inch, third of an inch of rain in 20 minutes, but that might be all. The severe risk is for damaging winds. That's really the potential problem there. So some isolated power outages are possible. Then as we move forward beyond that, as we zoom out and take a look at the rest of the country, what's going on, and give us an idea for what's going to happen the rest of our weekend. As you can see, after we get rid of the mess that's coming through today and the front that's going to come through today, we are into this area of weather here, which is much drier, as you can see, with the lack of clouds, and also much more comfortable. We're going to finally kind of get rid of the humidity that's been around most of the week here, really, and move into really some nice, pleasant feeling, cool, crisp air. Some late summer, not quite early fall. We probably get a preview of early fall in the end of next week. But for now, this will be really nice, beautiful weather for outdoor activities this weekend. Maybe a bit on the chilly side if you're going to try to get to the beach, although not really. We're going to be in the 70s. It's not like it's going to be cold. Let's take a look at the radar across the country. Again, you can see this front's going to move. This front's eventually going to kind of sweep through, move all the clutter out, move all the humidity and heat out, and kind of give us these nice, pleasant temperatures. You can see lots of 50s and 60s in the upper Midwest. We've got some 40s even, which we aren't going to see, but we do have some 40s even in the Dakotas. So that's going to be moving in our direction with that nice, really cool, drier air that we so love here across New England this time of year. If we take a look at your forecast overall, today we're in the low 80s. It is kind of warm. It definitely has a muggy feel to the air out there. Afternoon storms, like I said, anytime between 1 and 4 p.m. is your most likely time. Not a lot of rain out of these, but the potential for some damaging winds. Overnight, we do clear out after a few clouds to start the evening. Temperatures fall back into the upper 50s. Tomorrow, a really nice day. Low 70s. A few clouds around, definitely kind of some fair weather clouds tomorrow, particularly if at the higher elevations, I think the clouds will be around. So temperatures in the 70s. We'll be in the upper 70s in the valley locations. Mountain peaks or higher elevations, especially where some of those clouds stick around, might struggle to get to 70 tomorrow, but a nice feel tomorrow. Low temperature overnight, really nice sleeping weather as we fall down into the low 50s on Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday is beautiful. Less clouds, although still a cloud or two around on Sunday. Temperatures in the upper 70s on average, some low 80s for the valley locations, but no humidity, so a real nice feel to the weather on Sunday. And then we cool back down to about 60 on Sunday night into Monday before we do start to warm up again as we head towards next week. We got a couple of really warm days next week, it looks like, and then it looks like definitely a cooling down trend as we head towards the end of the week. So the weekend highlights, very pleasant weather weekend, thunderstorms possible today and this afternoon, except in a briefly heavy thunderstorm, no rain. Great outdoor weather on Saturday and Sunday, and warm to hot weather possible early next week, followed by a pretty good cool down, it looks like, for the second half of next week. All right. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel before, I would encourage you to do so. It helps make sure you don't miss any of my videos and also helps make sure that other people get to discover what I do here at the West River Weather Guy. And also I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons who help support what I do financially, and I appreciate their help. And if you're interested in the benefits of becoming a patron or what it entails, there is a link below that gives you that sends you to my Patreon page, which talks about all those things on the homepage. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back on Monday with a look at your work week forecast.